Hey everybody, it's your occasional co-host Martha. The podcast is going on a brief holiday due to exciting yet time-consuming life changes in the PG family. While on holiday, Living My Breastless Life podcast will share the top 4 episodes of Season 1. We're excited to hear what your favorite episode re-release is. Gearing up for Season 2, coming to you in mid-May. Stay tuned. Head over to Instagram and follow According to HPG to stay connected to the show and let us know what topics you want to hear about. We'd love for you to download, follow, give us a rating and a review. This helps little indie podcasts stay visible and reach listeners. Thanks for all your support, and go get your mammograms.
Hey, so I have an offering for you all. Make sure you listen to the end of this episode so you can hear all about it. Hey, it's HPG. This is the podcast, Living My Breastless Life, the show where we hear about my journey to heal while battling cancer, being a wife, a toddler mom. We're going to cover all things real life. We learn what it really means to heal no matter what we go through. In Season 1, you will hear some of my story along with episodes featuring my occasional co-host, Martha, and some badass guests. There will be humor, life hacks, tips and tricks, and further proof that truth can be stranger than fiction. On today's episode, we have my occasional co-host, Martha.
Hey.
On today's episode, we are going to talk about boobs.
Yay.
Yeah, boobs.
All right.
So, we were just thinking about how boobs are like ingrained in our culture, like societal norms, like how they're represented on the media, like TV, social media, music, movies. What comes to mind to me, and I've thought a lot about boobs since 2021, but like I remember getting a training bra when I was like in 4th grade, and I took it off and hid it at school because it was uncomfortable and itchy. And I was like, I had a lot of shame around it. Like I was embarrassed. I didn't want anybody to see it. I wanted to hide it. So it's like, I got to thinking about like, it's called a training bra. Like you're training for this marathon of boobs. Did you have a training bra, Martha?
I think I got boobs too soon to get a training bra.
How did you feel about getting boobs too soon?
Well, I mean, I think I was like 10 when I needed a bra. I was like, I think my own boobs versus other people's boobs, I probably had different thoughts, but like mostly I was ashamed of all the development in some way, you know, but I was also, and like about talking about boobs when I was younger than that even, or like seeing boobs, but then I was intrigued by them. It wasn't, I don't know, it's kind of like shaving your legs, you know?
Oh, yeah. I did that, of course, and hid it and told no one.
Yeah, me too. So, like, you wanted to do it, and then you, like, also didn't know how to do it. That's kind of was my experience of getting boobs and, like, I don't know, puberty, I guess.
Yeah, and then you're, like, budding into womanhood. And you, like...
Sorry.
Get your first bra, and it's so uncomfortable, and you have to learn how to wear it, and then you have to learn the rules. Like you have a tan bra to wear under a white shirt, because for some odd reason you can't wear a purple bra in a white shirt because it'll show. It's like, let's hide our assets or jewels or whatever they're called. Let's hide them, but make them perky and perfect, and like not show through your clothes. Like it's a whole thing. Like it's a whole like thought process. You have to give it a lot of thought. Like I'm wearing a V-neck shirt and I'm going out to the club. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to put on a push-up bra because I want more cleavage. But the push-up bra is really uncomfortable and you can barely breathe but you wear it because you want the cleavage to be showing. So you have like a clubbing bra or like a date night bra, that you go to like Victoria's Secret and you get measured. The whole damn thing. They give you a card. So when you come back, you know what size to get. It's just like a whole thing.
It is. And, I think you and I have and had different boobs and different styles also, but like my wardrobe is still limited by like what bra I can wear, because my bras have to be full coverage and they have to be like thick and ugly straps or whatever, so that my boobs aren't like spilling out. So I do know what you mean, but that's gotten to be more of a issue for me over time. Probably like Victoria's Secret stuff I could only wear until I was like 16 maybe.
And then you had to transition into
granny bras, I guess.
Granny bras? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, I always had like pretty bras. I don't know. Like I had varied bras. I had my version of granny bra. Then I had like the strapless, the razorback, the halter. Then, like when I was in a wedding, I would have to get those pasty things to put on my boobs. I always thought about Little Kim every single time I did that. But anywho, like you would have to put so much thought in like your prom dress, alteration around your boobs, your wedding dress, alteration around your boobs. Like stuffing your bra when you're a kid with tissue. Like, ooh, such and such stuffs her bra. Like it's a whole thing from like the start of puberty.
Yeah, and before, I think everybody's like, interested in boobs when they notice that they're around, which starts at the beginning of life. But I never stuffed my bra like once I really started wearing one. But I do remember before that at camp, they used to have those squish balls. They were like round, and you throw them and they kind of splat and they float in the water and all that. That was, everybody would put the make pretend boobs out of those because they were like, I guess supposedly like boob-like.
When you were at camp, you were like a
camper?
A camper? A participant?
Yeah, this was when I was a kid.
A voluntary participant in being at camp? Okay. So you were like a kid?
Yeah.
And y'all were doing squishy things?
Yeah.
Pretending they were
just
boobs?
Pretending stuff was boobs, yeah.
See, it's everywhere. Let's take a little break and get right back to the show. Feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes. Get in touch by heading over to According to HPG on Instagram, and be sure to tell your friends about the show. There was a time when I thought I could record, edit, and publish everything myself. Seeing as this left me very little time for anything else, I started to lose the standard of quality I was used to. Then I found Jay. In less than a day, the show went from so-so to amazing. Don't sacrifice quality for mediocrity. Check out the Podcast Mechanic and take your sound to the next level. Connect with Jay today at the Podcast Mechanic on Instagram. Let him know HPG sent you. And now, back to the show. So I thought about getting breast implants when I was 29 or 30. I don't remember. I took 30 really hard. And I gave it a lot of thought. I even talked to my dad about it, who was like, no, it's not what we're going to spend $10,000 on. I mean, I was a grown woman. I really don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was having like a quarter life crisis, probably. That was not my best years. But anywho, like you think about augmentation. I remember being at a wedding and somebody was like looking at themselves in the mirror in the bathroom to make sure like their nipples were like in line. Which I mean, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Well, it's the only, other like secondary sexual characteristics or whatever, other than beards, I guess, are not on display, right? So like boobs are this whole like, the shame intrigue thing, I guess, but everybody's got visual access to them,
Yeah.
And people, that's another thing I was thinking about, like when you're like a teenager and people start wearing bras and the boys like fucking snap your bra.
Oh my gosh, I hadn't thought about that in years.
Yeah. That's just like everybody thinks now your boobs are not just yours,
Right.
They're for consumption or like comment, flat-chested comments or crap like that.
I've heard a lot of those myself. That makes me think of that Pink song, You and Your Hand Tonight. It's just how like misogynistic men just think. I mean, it goes from like when they snap your bra, right? I don't remember what age that is, but up to like
I think you get one, yeah.
We're like in the club listening to music, having a good time, and it's like, in my opinion, sometimes I think women dress up for other women, like in competition, and then you have men who think you're there just to like observe or like an object of sorts. You hear men say like, I'm a tits guy or I'm an ass man. Like I've heard that in my life. Like not directed to me, because I don't really think I hang around with people who say things like that, but I just make it a practice not to. I just think I would have a strong response knowing me.
I have no doubt.
But like it's just like everywhere. Like in the book we read when we went to Tabby Island, the main character was like defined by her beauty, physical beauty, and her breasts. Like that was really kind of how she got famous, And then speaking of like augmentation, like you think about famous people and you're like, oh, did she get a breast implant? Like, does she have breast implants? Or like, if you have a friend that all of a sudden has different looking boobs, but you like can't ask them because it's rude, but then you see them and then it's just a whole thing. You don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, hey,
Yeah. I pretty much would never like wonder about particular individuals' boobs, but sometimes you have pointed things like that out to me and then I like can't let it go, even though it's none of my business.
Right, it's none of my business either, but once I see it, I can't unsee it. But it's like this unspoken mannerism of sorts, or like, not mannerisms, but like, you can't say like, hey, did you get a boob job? Because it's rude, and I would never say that. But then I can't unsee it, and I have to give it to you, and then you can't unsee it, and it just makes everybody awkward. So I guess like the point really about boobs is like they're a big deal, maybe a little deal. And like, it's just ingrained in our brain, from when we were little to like adulthood. And then, when you get older and your body changes, you think about side boobs. I don't want side boobs, or like my boobs are saggy. And then some people really have good boobs as they get older. It's just a constant topic of conversation. They're expensive, as I mentioned, but like all the different types of bras that you have to wear to accommodate certain outfits and colors, and they do all these functions. But then we think about like they serve an actual purpose for breastfeeding. And then that's a whole thing that everyone has an opinion about. Like, we won't go down that rabbit hole today, but like, boobs are really a big deal. And they are a topic of conversation. And there's a lot of shame around them. There's a lot of proud pride.
And like women really are, we compare our boobs to other people's boobs, people that we know and people that we don't know. Like, a lot of people with smaller boobs think that it'll be just awesome to have bigger boobs, which is not true. And
I always wanted bigger boobs. Just a little bit.
Yeah. And like you talking about you wanted to get bigger boobs, so you had really great boobs,
Yeah, really. I think I really did. Not to toot my own horn, but like out of all the physical characteristics, I thought that I had really good teeth and really good boobs. Like I didn't have to wear a bra. That could be optional at times. Despite my age, they were still perky, which I was like pretty good in that area.
Yeah, you got a lot of physical attributes, but you also had great boobs.
Right. Yeah.
And your new boobs are great too.
Yeah, they're okay.
But
it's not the same.
A pain.
Yeah, they actually cause physical pain too. Which I think that's because it was reconstruction after like a major surgery. Like it's not like a boob job.
Yeah.
It's like we're going to take your boobs from you and put this silicone replacement in. And then a year later, you're going to kind of look like your former self in the boob area. Kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, did we do them justice? Did we do boobs justice?
I don't know. I guess our listeners will tell us. But to wrap up, I think that the point is boobs are a really popular topic. There's a lot of shame in boobs. There's a lot of pride in boobs. There's a lot of talk around boobs. There's a lot of sexual undertones, insinuations, think about first or second base back in the day. There's so many things to talk about when it comes to boobs. They're a pretty big deal. And that's kind of the point of the episode.
Yeah. No matter kind of how you feel about your boobs, they're a part of you.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, even if you don't have them and you have a double mastectomy and you don't have boobs, that's still a part of you. And I really do think that that's also very beautiful. So I have to say that there's a song that has been in my head, and that's Titties and Beer. Like, that is how permeated boobs are in people's minds. Songs.
Yeah.
TV, movies.
As in your face and commonplace as beer.
Yeah. And then the TNA in the 80s, the movies. We're old enough to know when you actually got to see boobs on TV.
It seems like when we were kids, everything on TV, every movie was showing full titties.
Yeah, I didn't watch the same channels that you did.
We watched those at my house.
Yeah,
and my eyes got covered, but
oh, really?
Yeah.
Who covered your eyes?
My older brother covered my eyes.
I see.
Try to further embarrass me, but there was nonetheless, boob movies in the hot tub and the showers and the dorms, wherever they were showing boobs on the TV. I feel like even in the murder drama stuff that my parents watched, there was boobs.
Yeah, I watched Silver Spoon or whatever that's called.
Daytime television.
Yeah, I got to watch one episode of The Golden Girls a night. There was no TNA in my house. I mean, maybe there was. I just wasn't allowed to see it.
I think y'all watched, or your mom watched soap operas, and I didn't watch enough soap operas to know, but I don't think they had boobs on.
I think it was innuendos and such that were really subtle. I didn't notice much about it.
I don't think they did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's today's episode about boobs. Thank you for listening, and have a good day. Recently, I was able to interview Laura McGowan about her new book, Push Off From Here. That said, I have an extra copy. So hop on over to Instagram, follow According to HPG, send me a DM of a topic you'd like to hear, including your email, and I will randomly select a person who gets to receive Laura's book, Push Off From Here. Thank you for listening to this episode of Living My Breastless Life. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please leave a review, download, and follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Go get your mammograms.